Today, I'm sharing a simple and helpful tip for how to arrange and transfer your die cuts with ease while keeping your layout just the way you designed it. Hi, everyone. I'm Mindy Eggen, and welcome to my channel. If you are interested in any of the supplies that I'm using today, I will have them linked down below in the video description. I also wanted to quickly let you know about a limited time promotion. So, from March 31st, 2026 through April 6th, you can get a free class with me that is a pre recorded class. So, on every order of the Sakura Blooms Complete bundle, you will get this Anniversary Blooms free class. I will be going over some ink blending techniques and how I was able to create 8 cards using the Anniversary Bloom set. The set that I'm going to be using today is the Craft of Flower Clematis. And these flowers and leaves, once all layered together, do actually take up quite a bit of the card front, which is really nice because then we don't have to worry too much about our background. Since there are 2 different flowers, this has 2 different keyhole systems, which I will share with you a little later on in the video. Now, not only am I going to show you how to preserve your layout once you arrange your die cut pieces, but I thought I would mix it up with some non traditional colors for my flower and my leaves. So, for the leaves, I die cut them all out of Citronella cardstock, but I'm still going to be step it up with my ink blending. So, first and foremost, I want to apologize for the eyesore on the camera right now. I am using my very well loved 9 by 12 sticky mat. I actually have 2. I have this one that is very dirty and stained, but works perfectly. And then I have another one that is cleaner that I use for my stencils. I just kind of wanted to show you that even though they get stained, they're very well loved and may not look the cleanest, they still work as good as new. Now, I am doing some ink blending on my leaves, and I am using the Nature's Wonder set. There's actually the 2 darkest colors that I'm using. I started with Sea Forest, and then I'm going to step up the shadow a little bit with Mangrove Root. I'm using my mini blending brushes to do this so I can kind of control the amount of color that I'm laying down and also how far to apply it. Now, keep in mind, even though this shows up really dark on camera right now, once the ink dries, it does dry back a little bit, so it won't be so harsh. And while I love ink blending on white cardstock to control my color, it is refreshing to start with colored cardstock once in a while to help save some time and some ink blending. Once all of my leaves are done, I'm going to quickly work on a background. And as I mentioned, these flowers, once they're layered together, and also depending on your arrangement, does take up a good amount of your A2 size card front. And I could have used an embossing folder or maybe even tone on tone stenciling, but I thought I would go for just a nice soft ombre color of ink. I'm going to be using the Seashore collection for this. I started out with Mountain Mist using a large blending brush. So I start at one end and I lightly apply that ink going all the way down to the bottom. And I shouldn't say all the way, I'm leaving a little bit of white there. So I'm fading off into the white. Then I'm going to come in with Volcano Lake. That one I will blend maybe about halfway up. And then I can come in with Lagoon. And that one I'm going to keep mainly down towards the bottom. I really did not want to get too heavy handed here. I kind of wanted it to have that euphoric look to it. Once I have my background ink blended, I am going to jump over and work on my sentiment because I kind of wanted to have that in place. When I start doing my layout, I wanted to make sure I knew where this was going to go. The sentiment I'm using is from the Leafscape set. So I am using my Stampwheel 2.0. I do have a SlimGrip mat inside of here, and I'm stamping this in Obsidian ink onto white cardstock. Obsidian ink is a pigment ink, which means it's going to stay wet a little bit longer. So after I line up the coordinating die to die cut out the sentiment, you may want to wipe your cutting plates down. So in case any ink has transferred to your plate, it doesn't transfer to your next project. I die cut out both of the flowers using just plain white cardstock, which may be a little shocking considering this is inking it up with Mindy, but I thought it would look really pretty and just kind of a soft look with the different colored leaves that I used today. Now, the keyhole system for this particular flower is an arrow shape. And when you die cut out your cardstock, the dies actually impress a number into the center so that you can easily figure out which one goes first, second, third, and fourth. And then for the centerpieces, you just start with your largest, go to your medium, and then smallest and your centerpieces. The second flower actually has the shape of a keyhole. So again, just lining it up into the order that the dies have kind of labeled on your flower there. I'm just adding a little bit of liquid glue to the center and lining all of those layers up. Then once I have that all assembled, I'm going to start bringing this to my card front. And honestly, this is the part that usually takes me the longest is arranging my flowers on the card front. I do like to use the inspiration guides that Altenew provides in their pamphlets, but this still takes me a long time. And then a lot of times what happens is I settle on something, and if I start moving something or when I go to glue it down, it shifts on me. And then I have to figure out what I did. So there are times that I will take a picture to remember what I did, but here is a little secret tool that you may or may not have thought of. This secret supply might actually be tucked away in your kitchen, and that is using press and seal. It has been around for years. It is not by any means a brand new trick. It has been done many times, but oftentimes we forget about this. And I actually keep some of this right down below on my shelf next to me in my craft area to remind me. So, because it is sticky, I just ripped off a piece and I'm placing that over my layout, just like I have my layout design. This is what I want it to do on my card front. And then you just gently press over all of your areas of your design. That is going to keep everything in its place. And then I just flip it over and trim off any of the excess. The press and seal is also really great to have and place over your jars of shimmer paste to help prolong the life of your paste. So it's definitely got multiple uses in our craft room. The next thing I'm going to do is flip this over, and on the back of my layout, I am going to be adding some foam tape. So I am making sure that when I line up my foam tape, it's covering the leaves and pieces of the flowers. I try to overlap that as much as possible to keep it all in place when I go to put it on the card front. Then before I do anything to my background, I am going to add some iridescent splatters just to add a little bit of subtle interest and a shimmer to it. I put some down on my glass work surface, got my paintbrush wet with some water, and then splattered that onto the background. I removed the backing of all of the foam tape, and then I'm going to bring this in and place this over my card front. Just make sure before you push down that it's exactly lined up on the A2 size card front that the way you want it. And then you can push down to secure it in place. And you're going to want to just gently and slowly peel back your press and seal. If you did any ink blending like I did, you do want to give your cardstock time to dry before actually putting the press and seal over the top. Sometimes the wet cardstock can tear when you remove the press and seal. Now, because the flowers were kind of on top of everything, some of the areas are not glued down. So I'm just going to lift up my petals a little bit and add a dab of liquid glue to make sure that those are secured down. Then I'll finish it off with my sentiment. So I did double up some foam tape on the right-hand side of the sentiment because it's overhanging my flowers, and liquid glue to the other side. And that's how easy it is to transfer your die cuts to your card front while keeping your layout perfectly in place. This simple kitchen supply trick really makes the process so much less stressful and helps everything stay exactly where you want it. I hope you found this tip helpful and that it makes your next card making project even more enjoyable.